All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutation to the Achiam and to the elect that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, pushing the truth and faith and sincerity. I'm the brother Shemali from the GMS Eastern Camp, and this is going to be another Stoic lesson. All right, a Stoic quote. Basically going into these Stoic quotes, breaking them down and further expounding it, with the scriptures. Like always, all wisdom, knowledge, and understanding comes, from the scriptures. Okay. But, as you can see, you got this quote here, right? It says, supposed to say what? But it says, what do we do now echoes in eternity. All right, and you see it's by Marcus Aurelius. And, it's a lot of controversy about, who actually said it, because I really don't remember it that well, but it said that the dude Maximus, from Gladiator actually said this, regardless of whoever said it, it's still a great quote, But yeah, it says, what do we do now echoes in eternity. And that's facts, okay? What we do right now is going to leave a legacy, all right, whether, it's a righteous one, all right, or a wicked one, all right? You put the work in, you will be rewarded, right? And, you will be, praised in the kingdom, all right, for the work that you have done and heavily rewarded, right? Being joint heirs, with Yahweh Shai, all right? Being a king, being crowned, being, part of that, up in the hierarchy, all right, high up in the hierarchy, all right, as far as rank, you see, it's just going to be a lot, right? Or you can, fall out, right? Lead as truth, abandon it, give up, right? And you will have nothing. All right, you'll still get in the kingdom. You'll still be an Israelite, but you'll be an average one. All right, which the average Israelite's still going to have a lot, okay? Ain't nobody going to be in the kingdom, all depressed and, sad because, he got this and I got... No, we all going to be righteous. Although the wicked of our people will be sad for some time because of the deeds that they have done, all right? But that will pass, all right? So you got to decide what you want your legacy to be. Okay, which is already written for you anyways. And you just got to play it out, and just hope that you are a part of the elect. Okay. But this is Ecclesiastes 12, and I'll start at 13. Let us to the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. So this is our duty while we are here. We're supposed to keep the commandments. Okay, we can't keep it in its perfection. All right, but we do what we can, and we do what we are able, right? The key thing is, what we are able. All right, not what we want to keep. All right, I like this, but I don't like that. Nah. All right, you keep the law, statutes, commandments to the best of your ability, and by way of us being in captivity and not having our own land, having to go to work, it's just and that we can't keep everything 100%. Okay, so you keep what you can and what you are able. All right, like you can stop committing adultery. You can stop stealing. All right, you can stop idol worshiping. You can stop all of these things. Okay, coveting after things. Lusting after other people have, to the point to where, man, you want what they have, like you want that, like you will take it. All right, murdering, like you can help all of that. Okay, no sex on the Sabbath, But it says, for the Most High shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So everybody's going to receive a judgment. All right, you're going to receive a reward depending on what you have done. All right, you're going to receive that righteous reward if you stood firmly, if you stood stiff, but you gave up. Hey, you're gonna receive the opposite end of that stick. All right, horrible judgments. All right, And each will lead to a legacy. Each reward will lead to a legacy. And that's what you will be remembered by in the kingdom. This is Matthew 6:19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures upon earth, where moss and rust do corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal. Right, the treasures of this place. Right, the carnal things. All right, these treasures that are upon earth. Right, the things that seem valuable, these things get old. These things have to get replaced. Right, these things can be stolen. All right, and these things don't have no real value compared to the word. Okay, that's why it says, but lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust do corrupt, and where thieves do not break through or steal. So we're investing in the kingdom of heaven. We're investing in things that we can't see. All right, but we know that it will come to pass. Right, and nobody could, if we are the elect, nobody can take that away from us. Nobody can take the kingdom away from us. Okay? Nobody can come take away our faith, all right, our belief, our spiritual gifts that's been given. Nobody can take that away, all right, and these things will lead to the kingdom of heaven, all right. So if you invest, right, in this place, right, you're going to leave behind that legacy, all right. This is the type of person this man was, right? He went back into the world. He loved the world. Right, he loved the women. He put this above Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. Instead of the other way around, I'm putting Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua above this world. Okay? Last scripture. This is Sirach, 35, right, and 7. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. So the sacrifice of a just man, right, the elect. We are making sacrifices right now, day in and day out, right? We going out to the highways and the byways, right? Making our bodies living sacrifice, as it says in Romans, the 12th chapter. Okay? Preaching this word, throughout, all of the elements, throughout the, bad weather and all. It may be cold, it may be hot, you see? And we also, making ourselves a sacrifice in our daily lives, because we're constantly sacrificing. We constantly, know what we can and cannot do, or giving up certain things that may hinder us in this truth. All right? Constantly. Okay? And catching hell. All right? Paul said what? Hey, we are killed all the day long. You see? That's the sacrifices. All right? And it says that in the memorial thereof, shall never be forgotten. So it's not going to be forgotten. You standing stiff and firm for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. The Lord ain't going to forget none of that. You're going to be rewarded. All right? And people in the kingdom is going to talk about this and discuss this. All right? What we did here. All right? Through Yahushua, of course. All right? And it will never be forgotten. So you got to be, mindful of what we're doing and what we're fighting for. Hey, we were fighting for a legacy, man, that our children will speak about. All right, that millions of Israelites will speak about, right? Heathen will even know. Okay? This is what it's about, right? So each move that you make, right, today and on forward, right, hey, will decide what legacy you will have. So, hope this lesson is edifying. With that, I'm going to say Shalom.